don't get me wrong, Donald Trump can be a knob at times. He genuinely can. And he can say some things and do some things, yeah, okay, fair enough. But when he was in power, and you can't deny this, America wasn't involved in any wars, unemployment was down, economy was up, everybody was happier, everybody was earning money, and the American dream was back alive. Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers, welcome back outside. So as you can see, as mentioned in the previous video, kind of walking in the river now. Well no, that's a lie, isn't it? Remember in geography, stream, small tributary, a bit of a puddle that moves downhill, whatever you want to call it. There is one right here. But it's a glorious day. It really is. It's really warm as well, hence why I'm in shorts. Now the t-shirt, no, shorts aren't really that. I'm in the t-shirt. Shorts are so I don't get shouted at for having dirty trousers. Mrs G really gets upset with me, but it is what it is, I guess. Any case, this particular video, well, over the pond is this thing called the election, where they're going to be very shortly, the beginning of November, 6th of November I think it is, the same day Planet Coaster 2 launches. Gonna have my, mind you, then again I could play Planet Coaster 2 while watching the American elections. I mean, I'm not going to get any sleep that night, clearly, but yeah, it is what it is. And if it's as spicy as the last one, well, that could be fun, now couldn't it? Now, I have a huge affinity with the United States of America. In reality, the version of my name comes from America. We went over to the Americas as Lancaster, which is the name I frequently get called. So yeah, so when it went over, we were Lancaster, and when they came back, it was Lanchester. Apparently, due to genealogy and historical reports and such things and such likes, as we get across the rather large puddle, it's a bit deeper today. Oh, you know, that's deep. Thank God for semi-waterproof boots, which probably are now going to seep through, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. So yeah, and I have a lot of friends who reside in the United States, from all over the US, even though a few Canadians. Any case, so I've always paid very close attention to the United States, its military, its elections, its politics, everything else, because usually what happens in America eventually trickles over here. Remember, up until recently here in the United Kingdom, Halloween wasn't really celebrated, and now we go all American, and then that causes problems because people get offended. I joke you not, because there was a woman, I think it was somewhere down south, and she hung off a tree a couple of very well decorated English body bags. It looks like people wrapped up in plastic bags with tape, hanging upside down from a tree. Well, that upset one person, and because of that, because we live in perpetually offended Britain, she had to take it down. The council demanded that she took it down because one single sad lonely little arsehole decided to ruin it for everybody else. I've had this as well, because you'll see I do have a tendency to put a lot of lights outside my house at Christmas. Everybody round by me knows it. It's kind of a thing I have to do. And one year I had someone come and knock and said, can you turn your lights off, because I suffer from epilepsy, and when I walk past I might get a seizure. Needless to say, I told them to f*** off. You can imagine through the duck quack what I said. But it's just like, we live in a world of perpetual offence. So any case, that's just one example of how American culture affects British culture. I mean, let's be honest, McDonald's, American. We didn't have McDonald's here. I remember, showing my age now, when McDonald's first started coming over, and everybody was blown away by these burger things. We had Wimpy, but Wimpy came after, so we didn't have it. And that was the introduction of fast food. And if you look at the films of the 70s and then the films of the 80s, you see we all start getting fat again. And we get fat because of all this fast food, high calorie stuff. I can't moan, quite bulky myself, but in the video that I've mentioned in the previous video, explain why I am like I am. Now, it's not an excuse, and that's why I'm out here doing this, where most normal sane human beings would probably not be paddling through water. Is what it is, I guess. In any case, it's quite good fun as well, good for the mental health. I get distracted and sidelined again. So yeah, the political situation over in America is just mental. They only have a two-party system. Well, there is technically a third party, but it never gets anywhere. They tried. We've got two main parties and some splinter parties. That's how kind of it works. But in reality, as much as everybody tries to bang on about the fact that we have more representation, let's be honest, we live in a two-party state as well, which is why we're always perpetually screwed. So, Donald Trump was voted in, not this time, the last time, landslide, and understandably right. Now, oh, you're a Trump supporter. Well, yeah, I am. If I was in America, I'd support Trump. But then there'll be other people in the comments going, you're no surprise there because you've never been a right-wing misogynistic racist. Even though an awful lot of things that were thrown at Trump were like they're thrown at anyone else who stands up against the establishment. Bullshit. So, he comes up for re-election. In America, you can only stand for 2 terms, 2 4-year terms, and then you have to have someone else. Whereas here in the United Kingdom, as long as you keep voting for the same party with the same leader, they can stay in. Now, that's one thing of the American system I like, that we should only allow people, leaders, prime ministers being charged for 2 terms, which in our country now is 10 years, not 4, because we extended it to 5 years a term for some unknown reason, probably because they wanted to stay in power for longer. So he came up for re-election, and all the, well, I don't, you know how I feel about polls. I don't read much into polls. What I look at is, for instance, the huge amount of people turning up to a rally compared to the other person who gets no one. That's more of an indication to me. And Trump was well in the lead, and he was heading towards another victory until about 1 AM, when all of a sudden, in most of the states, they suddenly stopped counting. There was a problem, apparently, and they rebooted at 2 AM, where Joe Biden suddenly gained hundreds of thousands of votes from literally nowhere. To say it was dodgy, even people on the night were going, so we're not quite right here, like, how does it do that? So the election was stolen, and without going into all, you would say that, look, just look at the data. Up until 1 AM, Trump was winning. It stopped at 1 AM, restarted at 2 AM, and Trump was losing massively. And if you deny those facts, those basic facts, then you're an idiot. So in any case, Joe Biden got in, who is a man who shouldn't be president. In fact, he should be in a home. The guy's a raving idiot. So Kamala Harris, his vice president, is now standing as a Democrat. Now, there is a big issue with that, because she's standing, but very much like Rishi Sunak for the Conservative Party, no one voted for her. I mean, they're supposed to have like we have like our leadership election for the Conservatives at the moment, and their members are supposed to vote. Well, they haven't. She's just took it upon herself to be there. Now, Joe Biden, brain dead as you come, and I didn't really think it was humanly possible to find someone even more stupid, more dumb, and a even worse mastery of the English language, or English language. I need a drink. I'll have one after this. But she is. And the stuff that she's saying, this is why you don't believe polls. Polls have it that she's winning hands down. This is the person to say, I'll give you tax breaks if I'm elected. And everybody goes, you're already in charge now, so why can't you do them now? Well, you see. Any case, just recently, yesterday, there was an interview on, I think it was ABC. I'll put the clip at the end of this video before we have our end titles. And she's there, and I can't remember the name of the guy, it'll all be at the end. Brings up a graph to show that 79% of Americans think the country's going in the wrong direction. Well, the problem with that is she goes, and he goes, sorry, he goes, that's you lot. You're the vice president, you're in charge, and 79% of the country think it's going wrong. And her answer, well, Trump's running against us. And she goes, God, well, you'll hear it. And he's like, she goes, come on, you know what I'm on about. He goes, I genuinely don't. So even when it's blatantly obvious that they're getting things wrong, which bleeds back into why don't the left ever listen? She goes, well, the reason we've been really bad and no one likes us is because of Donald Trump, who hasn't done anything apart from point out the fact that you're rubbish. Now, don't get me wrong, Donald Trump can be a knob at times. He genuinely can. And he can say some things and do some things. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But when he was in power, and you can't deny this, America wasn't involved in any wars, unemployment was down, economy was up, everybody was happier, everybody was earning money, and the American dream was back alive. And you have to take the man out and just look at the facts. It's the simple truth. But of course, to the left waffer, oh, and there was somebody who commented saying I shouldn't call people the Luftwaffe because it's offensive. Now, somebody did go, he did say Luftwaffe, but the guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Just to let you know, love, which is probably going to trigger you by me calling you a love, the German Air Force today is still called the Luftwaffe. So I don't see how it's offensive. Well, I do, because it's people like you. But in any case, so this is the point. They won't. When did we get into a situation where we all, or a lot of us, stop taking responsibility for our own actions? I was going to say F-ups, but it's really hard to go through and have to constantly duck quack everything. Because I'm trying to be a good boy. It's hard, but I try. But when did that happen? Have you ever noticed how it's always, with certain members of society, those on the left especially, that it's always, go this way for a change, it's always somebody else's fault for the hiccups. Ah, duck quack. It is. It's just, no one takes responsibility anymore. Well, rephrase that. Yeah, those of us who are on the right, so to speak, we take responsibility for our actions. We know that if you do something, there's a consequence and something's going to happen to you. Like, talked about on another one, previous video, where I've done a video which exposes me and the stuff I've gone through. Some of it, not all of it. Some of that's not for you lot. And I already know that I'm going to get judged and criticised for it. But why don't the left ever take responsibility? To turn around and say, the reason why we failed and the country thinks we're going in the wrong direction is because of somebody else. Absolutely stunning. Any case, we've finished another lap, and I think I'm going to go for, one more lap. Yeah, let's go for one more lap. So let's bring it round, as we always do. Plane's taking off by the sounds of it. So, coming up right now will be that interview video I said, just so you're aware. So sit back and enjoy this. Try not to laugh too hard.
Then 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam Vice President.
You and I both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade.
See what I mean? Insanity. Absolute insanity. So, as always, popping up on the screen will be 2 links to videos. One will be the very last video I did, or should I say the very last video I uploaded, because they do come out of order. You may have noticed this. And then the other one will be one that the gods of all YouTube have decided that you really do need to watch. And you can't deny YouTube, you must watch it. Joking. On the other side in the corner is my logo. Click on that and you subscribe to the channel. 76% of people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me, helps my channel, and it helps push the message out to more and more people. That's how it works. It doesn't cost you anything, so just subscribe. You know it makes sense. I mean, ideally, and this is possible, I'd like to get to 7,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's it. Now some people go, oh yeah, but you say about begging for subscribers. See, the thing is, I'm not begging, I'm just saying, if you enjoy what I'm talking about, subscribe. You could then ding that magic bell and then you'd actually get notifications. Well, you might. It's YouTube after all. But you get notifications done on the video and you can watch that. Don't have to agree with me. You can vehemently disagree with me. Just subscribe to the channel. Also, you could like it. Likes help the algorithm because it means that people are actually enjoying what they're seeing. And that means pushes it out to more people. It's, for me, it's not about really about subscribers. It's not about money, because I get pittance from it, and we'll do a video about that one day. It's about getting the message out, and it's about, moreover, as I said before in the housekeeping video, it's about, this is cathartic to me, to allow me to talk about things that Mrs. G really isn't interested in, because it depresses her, and I get it, I really do. Any case, enough of that, I'm done. So, until the next one.